Preview.
And vice versa. Take your seats, friends, because the simmering Donald Trump-Mitch McConnell feud, which has been creeping steadily into the headlines and/or your Twitter feed over the last few days, has now become very public thanks to a new report from Politico that reveals, in excruciating detail, just how thoroughly they detest each other, or, at the very least, how deeply each man longs to be rid of the other's burdensome meddling forever. I've been thinking about it for the last 20 minutes, and I genuinely can't decide which side of this beef between genuinely terrible people I would most like to see lose in spectacular fashion. Root for a draw, I guess. After the president suggested on Thursday that McConnell should step down if he can't push the party's agenda forward, again, a sitting Republican president suggested that a sitting Republican Senate Majority Leader should resign. The two apparently endured a rancorous call that sounds a lot like the first conversation between two bitter exes who have spent weeks talking all kinds of shit behind each other's backs to everyone they know. In a terse but loud conversation Wednesday, the president made clear he wasn't to blame for the Obamacare failure and was displeased with the criticism he's gotten for it. McConnell didn't give any ground, said people briefed on the phone call, and there are no immediate plans to speak again. Come, savor every word of these 2 paragraphs with me and try not to smile contentedly as you imagine Mitch McConnell holding a phone to his ear, blinking furiously and trying desperately to get a word in edgewise, and then finally talking for 30 uninterrupted seconds before realizing that Trump hung up on him 31 seconds ago. McConnell's advisors have been amazed at the president's unwillingness to sell the healthcare bill publicly, his lack of policy knowledge, his seemingly unending appetite for chaos, and his inability to control warring factions of aides, who complicate delicate negotiations by saying different things to different people. The two men have talked from time to time on the phone, but the conversations have often been brief, and Trump often disregards McConnell's advice. McConnell has told people after meeting with Trump in the White House that it is difficult to keep the president on topic and that he wanders around verbally in a way that McConnell, a man who does not see the purpose in unnecessary words, doesn't understand. These details, which confirm basically everything you suspected about the way Donald Trump conducts himself as president, would be humiliating no matter their source, but the fact that they appear to be coming straight from McConnell's inner circle is pretty remarkable. We're 7 months into a unified Republican government, and we've already reached the point at which the Senate Majority Leader is talking openly with aides about how his White House counterpart is a doddering, semi-coherent rube with a mean anarchist streak. Trump's plan, as intimated to McConnell and shared privately with White House advisors, is to distance himself from Republicans in Congress should their high-profile failures continue. As Politico notes, there are reasons that this might look like an appealing course of action. Despite his abysmal approval rating, he still outpolls Congress, and he ran for office as an outsider who would upend Washington's complacent insider establishment. If McConnell and Ryan can't get anything of substance done in the next few months, it would be entirely consistent with Trump's brand, and with the way his supporters are inclined to apportion blame between the White House and Congress, to call out those failures. Consequences be damned. The problem with Trump's high-wire scapegoat act is that hanging fellow Republicans out to dry is a woefully short-sighted strategy in terms of both policy and also his presidency. It might allow the White House to temporarily avoid the public's wrath, but if Trump is too effective at publicly portraying GOP legislators as incompetent has-beens, he could put his House and Senate majorities real jeopardy come 2018, and a president already under a very active law enforcement investigation cannot afford to lose the fragile institutional protections that his congressional allies provide to him. Trump may not understand the stakes, but it's just as likely that even his famously powerful self-preservation instinct can't overcome his lifelong refusal to accept responsibility for his failures. For the GOP, it's an alien versus predator situation. No matter which man wins the battle, the Republican Party loses the war. Another advisor to McConnell said there may come a time that requires members to put a lot on the line to try and protect Trump. The stuff that he is doing currently will lead to a situation when he is all alone, when it matters most. More stories like this one.